Sometimes it's about more than manifesting. You got to do the work. Welcome to the Keep It Uplifting podcast, where we discuss lifestyle, fitness, and motivation. I have with me the man behind the camera.
What's good, folks? We back again.
And today we have a special guest, my man Walt. Say what's up to the people.
Yo, about time, man. It's been a long time coming, bro.
So I wanted to bring you on the podcast because we talk about motivation often, but I feel like in weight loss and fitness, therein lies a lot of motivation.
Oh yeah.
And you're a person who I personally know who lost 100 pounds.
100.
130 or
100.
okay.
But like we always say, it's like you losing it, but like keeping it off.
Yeah.
Keeping it off is the hard part. Like
right.
That's the part that I think, is the grind. Like losing it, I can't. Yeah, we'll get to that. But like,
nah, man.
Losing it was to me was easy because like that's what. I mean, I can start at the beginning. Like it's college time, so
right.
I was living that life. Like I was everywhere, and I was everywhere that wanted me to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I was eating wrong, I was drinking, smoking, all the stuff that you would love to do. And I still do now, but I've trained it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've trained my body and my mind to do better. Because I wanted better. That's where it started. Because
actually, just to cut you off, man, like. Can you tell us, so we had Diego on, and Diego had I don't know if you know Diego, but he was on one of the other episodes. Be sure to check that out. But he lost like 90 pounds, but he had a tragic life event that kind of took place that
That's what motivated me.
Yeah, like stirred the pot, to say, right? So did something in your life medically or... was there a loss or something that just made you kind of want to lose this weight?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I think it was a combination of things, but yes, it was like a catalyst, if that's what you want to call it.
Yes,
it was a catalyst. Like, I didn't know how big I was, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, it was one of those. It was a time in my life where I did not have a scale. I couldn't locate one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did not have a scale. Did not go to the gym. I didn't do anything like that. Like to better myself or to keep track. It's like, how they say it's like you want to change something, start keeping track of it. You know what I mean? Like, I was not keeping track of my weight, so. I get to a point where I'm looking at myself, like in the mirror. And then like, for me, it was a physical part where I was getting out of the car and like I'm huffing, puffing. I'm like, yo, like I'm 21. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna make it that far. Right. If this is where I'm at now, then like I'm like, yo, it just can't be. It won't be good in the future. And then of course, black families and like. We got histories of like, diabetics and all that stuff that weight loss will contribute a negative impact on. Like, right. And then of course the knowledge that we don't share with each other, like that was another part of it. But anyway, I saw like my uncles and, people above and, older than me and like them struggle with weight. And I'm like, why is it that way? You know what I mean? I don't get it. Like why? Am I just destined to be that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I would look at it that way, and I'm like, no, like, I want to change. But the catalyst, let me get back to that, was the one day I came back home from a trip, me and ex-girl in the house, so what happened was, right, it's a funny story, but anyway, I'll keep it short, but anyway, it was a mirror, like, like those full body length mirrors, cheap ones, this is Walmart time, okay. So it was cheap. We broke it doing something, can't remember why we broke it, but it broke, and it was jagged at the top, so like pretty much think about a glass that broke in half, and it was just uneven. And so she used to have to do her hair. Right. And so she kept the mirror. Before I left to go on this trip, I was like, hey, throw that mirror out. You know what I mean? Right. I get back. Of course, it's not thrown out. Right. It's right there underneath the light switch.
Right. So
you're about whatever reason.
You're about to throw the mirror out at this point.
So I go. I come home. like I said, this is a trip without her. So like she's there, whatever she's doing, I can't remember. But come in, I turned the light down because the fan was on, I think. And I was like, I don't know why the fan is on. So I go like this, I swipe down, and I felt something. I'm like, all right, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like this is what it's like. I'm looking around, I'm like, why she ain't clean up nothing? I'm just looking for something to be mad about. And then like I look down behind me and it's like a trail of blood. And I'm like,
who blood is this?
Yeah, what is this? What is going on? And so then like I'm looking around, then I finally look at my hand. It was the left hand, and like I'm like, it's all red. And I'm like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, what am I doing? So I go to the bathroom, of course, man reaction.
Right. Let me just put some water on it.
Yeah. I'm gonna just go ahead and wash this off real quick. So I literally go to the bathroom, run some water on it, and the blood just keeps going. It's like gushing.
Right.
And I'm over here like, all right. So like next thing I know, the whole sink is just red. So I'm like, all right. And I literally get weak, and I drop down to a knee, and like that's how much blood I already lost. And I was like, I dropped down to a knee, and a girl's in the house. And I was like, hey, we gotta go to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, like I'm losing a lot of blood. We get to the hospital, so of course, super long story short, I'm at the hospital. This is in Norfolk too, so terrible experience.
757.
Okay. Yeah, this is Norfolk Centaur Hospital. I can't remember what the name of it was, but anyway, I get there and they're wrapping me up, and they're like, of course, they can't treat me yet because it's like something. I was in line pretty much. I wasn't pretty much somebody was on fire. I was not on fire. And like, you wait in line, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, but it hurts like really bad. They didn't care about that. But it's like, so they do all the preliminary stuff. So they get your height and all that good stuff. And then of course the weight. So they're like, sir, go ahead and step on there. And me it's been years since I've been on a scale. You know what I mean? Like last time I was in high school, I was 220. Mm-hmm. Remember, I was playing football, so I was solid. You know what I mean? I was super solid 220. I get on the scale, and I had all my clothes on and the shoes, and it was like 315. I seen the number. It had the nice scale where it had the digital display, like, right where you could see it. Yeah. It's like I wasn't looking down; I was looking up, and I'm like 350. I was like, who weight is that? Y'all got.
I got my shoes on.
So that's why I went back to the point
shoes
where
is 30 pounds.
Exactly. That's why I'm going back to the part where I told you I had my clothes on because I want to make sure I know because like when I got on the scale and I said like whose weight is this? I was like, yo, let me take my shoes off. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how everybody like, when you see a weight that you don't like, it's like, damn, man, let me take this. This hoodie is heavy, like.
It's my keys in my pocket.
The part where, take the hoodie off.
Right.
I was like, yo, we can take the hoodie off, man. Something got like, there's no way I'm a solid 315, and that's just kind of where it started. And from the point when I stepped off the scale. I'm talking about till when I got home, a lot of stuff happened. I got stitched up. I got shot in the hand. All the stuff to stop the bleeding. Yeah. A lot of stuff happened in between then and the house, but all I could see was that number. Like all I could see was 315. I was like, I'm 315. I'm 315. They're like shoveling me places around the hospital to like get me stuff, and I'm like, I'm 315. I'm 315. I'm like, I really don't care.
You forgot about your hand.
I'm like, I don't care about the hand. And then like, all those other thoughts I had before, like I said, when I was getting out of the car and out of breath, just by getting out, doing simple, normal life activities. Yeah, I was getting out of breath, and I was like, yo. So all of that was kind of like
just flashing before your eyes. Yeah, like a recap, right?
Going through the hospital.
Yeah. You're having moments of reflection about your weight.
Man, reflection is not even. It was like nightmares. It was like nightmares because like I said, I just couldn't. I couldn't even fathom it. I was like, man, like I'm really this big. Like I didn't feel that big. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I guess I just let myself go.
It's just crazy how those moments, like it's different triggers for people, but it just helps you to lock in. Yeah. And like, what was your first course of action after you kind of got over the nightmares?
I mean, so that I mean, after I cried, I'm joking. But no, like after I slept that night, I mean, I felt like crying. I damn sure did, just because, like, I mean, the pain, and then of course, like, I just felt like I was defeated. You know what I mean? And so, but at that point, I was like, this is something I can change. You know what I mean? Like, this is not something that, like,
it's in your
why
control.
am I laying down? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, why am I laying down like somebody chopped my leg off? You know what I mean? Like, why am I doing that to myself? So I gave myself some credit, and I'm like, yo, like, you're here. You know what I mean? You can do this. And so my first course of action was like, hey, my hand is wrapped up. I still had the stitches in there. I remember, I'll never forget, like, the doctor told me, like, they were like the self-removing stitches or whatever. So he was like, yeah, they should fall out on their own, but if they don't, come back or whatever. And I was like, how long? He was like, about 10 days, I think. I can't remember, but it was about 10 days. And I'm thinking, like, all right, so what can I do in those 10 days while my hand is hurt?
Right.
Like, so obviously nothing with weights. You know what I'm saying? But I'll start running. So I started running. I literally started running like the day after I got my hand stitched up, and I went to the gym the next morning and ran my first mile, and that was it.
Damn.
Like, yeah, like, I mean, I literally woke up and was like, I don't care how long it takes me to run this mile, but I'm gonna run a mile. I'm gonna start it, because, like, I had never been a runner before that. I had never been one of those people that was like, hey, I'm gonna get up and go for a run. Like, never. So, especially because of environments, of course.
Right.
Where I grew up, nobody.
Running around the neighborhood.
Something was
You
wrong.
running from something to running to something.
We didn't. When growing up, I never saw people jogging,
So I never thought that was like, you would see it in the movies and TV shows and stuff. But like, in my personal life, I had never seen anybody just outside, like, with the headphones on and like jogging.
Ain't nobody running around East Baltimore. I'll tell you that.
Exactly. So, like, that kind of, like I said, like, that will play into what you think is possible in your own mind too. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just do what I can. So I went to the gym. Luckily we had like an elevated track that looked below like the basketball courts.
Yeah.
So it was something cool. Like, so it gave me something to look at, because I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna do this mile. Don't care how long it takes me. And to be honest, I can't remember the time. It was ugly. I'm sure it was like 16 plus. You know what I'm saying? Like
16-minute mile.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Running?
Yeah, that was full out running. Like I said, the first day I was like, I want to see where I'm at. So like I really like went full out. And I think, like I said, it ended up being around like 16. As long as I didn't stop running, I'm gonna say how fast, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
As long as I keep my feet moving, it's kind of like the same thing in football practice. Like, if you got caught walking on the field, like, you didn't have to be running, but you definitely could not be walking. You know what I mean? Jog, trot, whatever you want to call it, skip, anything. Like, anything but walking was what I was trying to do. So yes. It was rough, man. But
So that's how you started your journey, man. And that people go through that. It's like a shock. Yeah, I'm 315. I got to do something. A lot of people, they'll do that mile. Maybe they'll do it again the next day, right?
Yeah.
But eventually you're gonna fall off it and say, "Hey, I tried," or give up, or what keeps you going? What keeps you motivated through the 100-pound loss?
So I would say, like, I was in a class, because I was in there for IT, and I was doing network engineering, I was doing project management, and one of the parts about project management was, like, you get a big project like building a house.
Yeah.
You don't just build the house, you break it up into parts, like reasonable chunks. Like, okay, build the floor,
Right.
then you build the walls, then you build this. Like, you take necessary steps to get to the end goal. And, like, I mean, to me, that was just basic logic. But I didn't know that, people actually had to be taught to do this. You know what I mean? So, and so project management, like, had always been, like, I felt it was a natural thing. You know what I mean? But I was like, all right, well, how can I apply that to the, what I'm doing now? And, like, I ran that mile. Of course, I think I ran a mile that whole week. And, of course, at the end of the week, I was, like, 3 pounds heavier. And I was like, I was like, oh, okay. Like, this is what I was like, you know what? I was like, let's just see where it goes. You know what I mean? Like, I stopped looking at the scale, and I started focusing on the time of the mile. And I was like, let me just try to get the time down. You know what I mean? Because I think everything else will come after that. And I think luckily at the time, my girl was pretty supportive of it. And so like that's another thing. You gotta have some some support. Like I wouldn't say like that was like the main thing, but it wasn't like
it's a lot easier when you got somebody that's on board with you.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And not, pretty much like shitting on you.
Right.
Not like, hey,
you gained 3 pounds. Yeah. Like, it's not working.
So like, luckily I didn't have anything like that going on. But, I think gaining those 3 pounds that first week and then like I kept going in the sense where I had another objective. I'm a very objective based person. Like I think most people will have like other things that keep them going, but I like to have objectives. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I like just like a video game. Like when you play a video game, like say Call of Duty, you can go in there and play like team deathmatch or whatever. The objective is you just kill everybody. You know what I'm saying? Just kill anything.
Right.
But there's other modes in there where it's like, hey, stay in this zone for like, the longest amount of time, or kill the person with the flag, or give me something to do other than just kill somebody. Like I want to have an objective because that keeps me going. Because at that time, the mile marker or the time, that was my video game. You know what I'm saying? Like that was me saying like, hey, I need to get this time down, or else. You know what I mean? I gave myself like ultimatums like that. Like I'm gonna get it down from 16 minutes to 10 minutes. And then from 10 minutes to 9 minutes, and like just setting like little goals like that.
So when did you start actually seeing results?
I think the first time I got back on the scale was I barred myself from the scale. Like after the 3 pound gain,
Why'd you bar yourself from the scale?
Because the gain.
Yeah,
I saw that 3 pound gain, and I was like, looking at this is going to be counterproductive to what I'm trying to do. So I put that down, and I was like, all right, well. Let me not focus on that. You know what I mean? Like, let me focus on the health, because that was another thing. Like I said, I was just tired of being out of shape. You know what I mean? Like doing simple things like getting out of the car. And another thing, we was in like a garden style dorm room. So you, of course, no elevators or nothing like that. And we was on like the 4th floor. We would go up and downstairs, and like, it would be times where Shorty, she'd be like, oh, I left something in the car. I'm like, who's going to get that? You know what I mean? Like, instead of being like, hey, I'll get it. You know what I mean? Like, even at my age now, like at 33, like I'm ready. Like, you left something in the car, I'll go get it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I got you. Yeah.
I don't really, nobody, of course, will volunteer most times, but it's like,
right.
I'm at the comfort of my own body where I'm like, it doesn't bother me. Right. I don't look at it as like a daunting task. Do I want to do it? No, probably. But can I do it? Yes, I'm fully capable. At that point, I might not have made it back. Right. I might have stopped at like the middle of the stairs and like had to catch my breath or something like that. Like now at this age, like I probably could run up the stairs and you know what I mean, like be.
That's crazy though. That just some of the simple tasks when we are out of shape or overweight. Is a daunting task to us, though.
Yeah, like, and then like it's just anything. Anything, picking up something. From the ground,
man, like you picking up something, like it's like
right. Putting on clothes, putting on lotion, like when you go in the shower,
taking a shower, you can lose your breath in the shower.
Like what?
There's a bunch of steam you working.
Right?
Like,
no, that's facts.
Like, hold on.
That's facts.
Hold on, I gotta stop for a second.
That's facts. Like I'm like, yo, why is it so hot in here? Like it's stuffy though. Like you feel like what's that? Like claustrophobic almost in your own body, and like you like I don't know. It just was an uncomfortable feeling. And I just didn't like it, and I was like, all right, well, like I said, I barred myself from the scale, and I think the part where I knew I could keep going was the first 20 I lost. So when I got from 315 down to, what was that, 280 or 285, 286, something like that. I know that was 20 pounds, but still like around that area, around 15 to 20 pounds. When I lost my first 20, that's when I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like I got this, you know what I mean? Like I'm
had
doing
that momentum.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool.
Let's keep
so
this
I
going.
can do 20, and so I stopped putting a number on it. I stopped saying like, hey, I'm going to lose 100 pounds. Yeah. I'm just going to lose 20.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I lost 20. And then I was like, okay, let's lose another 20. Not like let's lose another 60. Let's lose another. I broke it up into reasonable chunks where I'm like, okay, this is my goal. I want to lose 20 pounds in this set of time. You know what I mean?
So you're breaking down the consistency part, right? Like you're breaking down the bigger goal into these smaller goals, which allows you to kind of achieve, do something every day to build it up, right?
Yeah.
But where's the discipline in the diet? Like you haven't talked about diet.
Yeah.
That much,
Okay. Yeah. And so the diet, and I can't remember. This is years ago, but internet time. So like, I'm sure I just got on Google or whatever I was looking for at the time. I was on forums too. So I mean, I was in a lot of stuff, but I'm sure I looked at something and someone was like, hey, this worked for me. It don't work for everybody else, but try it. And it was the sort of like the intermittent fasting, but it was the eating every 2 hours thing.
Well, I just asked you that because, we talk about a lot of motivation on podcasts, but it's different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
So the fact that you said you're looking at diets and you didn't say, hey, you have to do keto or hey, you have to do Whole30 or hey, you have to do this.
Right.
You just said I was looking at things and I tried some things and it seemed to work for you.
Right.
Right.
And
because you have to do something, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Basically, you're trying to gain a discipline. You gain the discipline with your workout ethic. Now you're gaining the discipline with your eating habits. It don't necessarily need to be a certain one.
Yeah.
So that's basically what you're saying.
And that touches back on what I was learning at the time too. I think that played a big part, like the whole project management thing, like them saying, hey, if something doesn't work, don't keep doing it. You switch to something else. Like if we started building this house and then the ground wouldn't stay flat for whatever reason, you wouldn't keep doing that. You would either find a different way to build the ground or you would build it somewhere else.
Right.
Like you wouldn't just keep doing something that didn't work.
Isn't working.
Right. So like my main thing was like, I know I was expecting something not to work is basically what I was doing. So I was like, all right, I'm going to try what this person is doing. He said it works for him. It may not work for me. Sure, let's try it.
Let's try it out.
We're going to try it out. And I would set time limits. Like so he said, his basic rule was eat something every 2 hours. He didn't, like I said, this is 10, 12 years ago. So this is before I knew about keto. Ketogenic or ketosis might have been a thing back then, but I didn't know anything about it. But anyway, he was just saying, eat something every 2 hours, and just do something.
Right.
Pretty much smaller meals. And I was like, okay, like I said, again, no guidelines, no like, hey, this chicken is 8 ounces.
Right,
I wasn't doing any measurements, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? It was just raw.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like I got plus I was poor. You know? so like a lot of my meals would be like a Chewy bar.
Right.
Or like a turkey and cheese sandwich that I made from home.
Yeah.
Or something. It was just I just made sure like I set an alarm on my phone every 2 hours. And I was of course still in school. I was still working. I was working at Foot Locker. And every 2 hours my phone would go off, and like if I didn't have something in my hand, I was looking for something. Like, give me something to eat. Like it didn't matter. I don't even think I was staying away from carbs at that point. Like I said, I was just eating a turkey sandwich. So like definitely I wasn't thinking about carbs. Right. I was just like I said, I was going a basic form as possible.
Yeah.
Eat something. And so that's what I started it.
Yeah. So you lose 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Let's get to when you lose 60 pounds or 80 pounds and you're getting to that stubborn weight loss. Like how did you work through that?
Well, I mean that part was easy because like I started like you were losing weight and people are like noticing it. So like I think that was another part, like family and friends who definitely know they've seen you at your biggest. Because like you can't see yourself, like you don't see. You can see yourself through pictures.
Yeah, but you don't see yourself how other people see you.
Exactly. People are going to see your whole 360-degree body.
Right.
This is not a 2D picture where you can like, oh, I look like I was big. Like, no, like your family would be like, no, you was big. You know what I'm saying? Our family they don't like hold
they'll
back.
Hold back.
Especially my grandma and my mom and like their whole side of the family, they never held back anything. So like if you was fat, they would tell you like you're fat. You know what I mean? Like you're a huge, like not just fat, dude, you're just huge. What you been eating? You know what I'm saying? Like they would just keep on going with it and tell you like you get it. They're like, okay, I'm big, I get it. Like, but yeah, so like I think after the I guess the second 20, I guess, so 40, and then maybe the third 20, 60 pounds down.
Yeah.
I'm down to like maybe about 240-ish, you know what I mean? Like around that. And I'm thinking like, damn, like I really did it. I'm still in school, I'm still working.
Yeah.
And, still eating something every 2 hours. And so this is in the process of like, this whole thing took about a year.
Okay.
A whole
100 pounds in a year?
Yeah.
Not bad,
Nice.
man.
Yeah.
And you were in school and working. So there's no excuses for anybody who wants to lose weight, right?
Yeah,
you just have to be patient and make it work.
Going back to your thing about discipline, like I can't speak for everybody about what the discipline would be for that person, but for me, it was wanting to do better and knowing that I could get there because like I got tattoos and everything, but one of my tats says like my greatest enemy is my enemy.
Yeah,
like,
I use that all the time.
Yeah, like it's like, yo, I'm the only thing in the way of doing something that I can do. Like, and you can do like how all the not corny statements, but the cliche stuff you hear about, you know, you can do it. You can, just put your mind to it. You can do anything. Blah, blah, blah. Like, man, like it's just so hard to like not believe that like after going through what I just did, because it's like if you literally want to do something, you can put your foot down and just start. You know what I mean? Like it's so crazy that like that one catalyst thing about me, cutting my hand open, like started something so crazy.
Yeah,
like
bro.
10 years later, like I said, this is 10 years.
It's funny that we call that crazy though. We actually just before you got up here, we were just talking about the power of the mind.
Yeah.
You wanted to do something.
Yeah.
It's like you wanted this.
Right.
Your mind wanted it. You put your mind to it. Your mind is so powerful beyond what we can even imagine that it happened for you.
Right.
But the intricate parts though, what like you started with the mile run.
Yeah.
What did you have any other workout plans, or did you discover a different type of workout regimen that you acquired in order to achieve the goal?
Yeah, so I did the mile thing for a while, and so I never stopped the mile. I would add things to it, like I would do a mile and then I would go maybe bike 5 miles because like a stationary bike or like what do you call the ones where you sit? Like upright.
Yeah, stationary bike.
Okay, well, is it so? No,
it's an exercise bike. There's a there's a spin bike.
You have the ones where you're like leaning forward, like
that's a spin bike.
But then like the ones where you're sitting down and
that's
the
just
pedals,
a stationary one.
Stationary.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I would
you was in a chair, but your feet was moving
because like to be honest, I was like, yo, I don't think I was ready for the other bike, which was like me leaning over, and I was like, that looks a lot harder than just this one.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that was more fault on my part of not taking a challenge to do that one. Not to say that it would have been too much different, but I was like, hey, like let me start with something a little easier. So I got on the stationary bike. So I would do the mile, then I would do like I said, 5 or 6 miles on the bike. And at that point I was studying like while I was doing it. Like I'll have my book open.
That's good.
I'll be looking at notes, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Because like that at that point it was just like it was such a routine that I was like, I'm fitting my other stuff in to do this. Like I know I'm going to the gym, but what am I going to do while I'm at the gym? This is what I would be.
That's nice.
Like,
that's nice,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
That's a good multitask, man. You exercising the body and the mind.
Right. And like, because I had to. Like, I was like, it's either go to the gym or study, and it's like, why can't I do both? You know what I mean? Like, why?
Yeah.
Why? I was like,
no excuses.
Right. Well, no excuses for the gym. I wouldn't make excuses for studying.
Right. But I'm saying, like, you have no excuse. Yes, like, I can do both. You know what I mean?
And at that time, taking me away from the gym was like, it was like taking me away from like, I don't know, the basketball court. If I was like in that mode, like, you're not going to get me off the court. Like, I'm here. This is part of my day. You know what I mean? Like, I can't not do it and feel right. So yeah,
that's powerful, bro. Like it became a part of you.
Yeah, and it
just
still
from
is.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That's why I brought you on because I lost 30 pounds from meeting you.
Yeah.
Like you started me running. You started me doing what I do now.
Yeah,
essentially.
Right.
Like you were the motivating factor for me to understand that I can do the things that I talk about.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing in the way of me.
Right, but yourself.
Exactly. So
that's it.
So I thought your story was not only powerful, but it meant a lot to me. So I'm appreciative that you came on the podcast. I'm not cutting you off or anything.
No. This is good.
But no, man, like and I think your story and just the way that you tell stories is just. There's just a lot of gems that you've dropped so far that I don't really think you realize.
Yeah, but it's saying like I wouldn't even realize it myself. I would think until the end. You know what I mean? Like until you see stuff happening, and it's like, oh, like that happened because I did this.
Yeah.
But like during the time, going back to the gym, I didn't think about like this is going to be a result or the end result is because I'm doing this.
Right.
It was just such a routine that it just didn't even feel right if I didn't do it. So like that's the kind of thing I feel like anybody who would be looking into like making that lifestyle change like that, it has to be so ingrained in your brain where like you would feel bad if you didn't do it.
But
you
you were dedicated to the process.
Yeah.
Right? You weren't dedicated to the result.
Yeah.
You were just dedicated to the process.
I was the original trust the process. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Trust the process. Like I was waking up every day like that and I was like, what do I have to do to like, to do better in the gym today? Or what can I is my mile time going to be better than it was yesterday? Like I said, it was all a game to me. Like I feel like that's a big part of like what kept me going cuz I'm so competitive, bro. Like even against my own self. Like,
so ultimately you lose the 100 pounds. And how do you that was how many years ago?
10
years ago.
Yeah.
So 10 years in this weight loss game, how do you...
Is that showing up on the right?
Yeah.
Let's see. 10 years. Oh, yeah. So it's been about 10 years since I kept it off. And, it's been times where I've been up and been down, of course. Like, but that's what I can say about that is like, it always goes back to the beginning, like what got me here. So like, I can go even back to like the beginning of this year. I think I hit 235. I think I hit 235.
Did you panic?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that. Yeah. And so like that whole thing 10 years ago about losing 100, like I already know, like losing the 20 is going to be nothing. And since I'll go back to like in these past recent years, I would say maybe about the last 3 or 4 years, it's been, keto, Whole30.
Right.
I tried so many different, like, I can't call them diets because it's more like lifestyle changes. Like, you can't really call these things diets anymore because, like, I feel like a diet is something that you do for a little bit and then, like, you get off of it, blah, blah, blah. Most of these things are just lifestyle changes. I've done all those types of things before, and I tried everything. Like I said from the beginning, like, some things work for some people and some don't. But I'm willing to try a bunch of different stuff to see what'll work for me. And I think when I saw that number earlier this year, I was like, damn. I mean, this is after the holidays too. So of course, I was anticipating some weight.
Right.
I was
but
like,
not that
damn.
weight.
I was like, I'm almost 240 again.
Right.
So I'm like, all right. So what I got to do? Same thing. You set a date like. Nothing really happened. I didn't cut my hand open again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Thank God. You know what I mean? But I didn't do anything crazy. But it was just, it's that same mentality though, like where something doesn't necessarily need to happen anymore for that. That already happened.
Right.
So like the thing that needs to happen now is just me committing to it. You know what I mean? And like I'm just saying here, this is what I got to do. I know what I have to do. Now let's execute. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much it. Like
I think that's the best thing the best thing about what you just said.
Yeah.
And just to summarize it is, you said it's a lifestyle, man. Like this is a lifestyle podcast. Keeping it uplifting is a part of our lifestyle here. This is what we talk about. And I feel like your story is uplifting as hell. And again, man, I want to thank you for coming on. Is there any socials you want to shout out, or do you have any people want to follow you? Maybe they just want to keep track of what you got going on.
Yeah. I mean, I'll link it down because they're all different.
Okay,
I'll
put it in the description.
Yeah, do that because I for sure want to help out anybody. You want the phone? Okay.
We out. Hello? Keep it up, listen.